Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Irene. Today I decided to do something different and I'm deciding to recreate my mom as a sim. So first of all, I adore my mother. She can be a pain sometimes, but I feel like all moms can. But at the end of the day, she's my mom and I love her to death and I really don't know what I'd do without her. Fun fact about me is if my mom used to go to the store when I was little and I didn't go with her, I would throw like a 2-hour tantrum. I'm not saying it was cute, I'm just saying I really like my mom. But that's not the point. Point being, I have taken on this little project at home and in my family, and I've decided to go through and scan all the family photos. I will tell you, if you've had people pass away and you see them in photos, it is a lot. It is a little bit overwhelming. But truthfully, at the end of the day, I feel like it's so worth it because I feel like so many people have been so happy to like see these photos. You know, I only have one grandparent still alive, and she currently is staying in the city I'm in, and you know, she stays over at our house on the weekends, so I'm able to talk to her, I'm able to find out these really cool stories that I wouldn't have otherwise known to ask. And I think, you know, as I get older, these things are more important to me, like finding out about my family's history, finding out, you know, more about my great grandmother on her side, because my dad, you know, both my parents are immigrants, so they didn't really have the structure of their grandparents here like I did when I was growing up, and you know, like my niece and nephew do now. So I was lucky enough to know both sets of my grandparents. You know, they lived about 10 minutes away from each other while I was growing up, so it was really easy for me to see both of them at the same time. But I never found out a lot about my paternal grandmother's like family and everything. Like, I knew one of her sisters that moved here, and also lived right down the street from her. She still lives there. My grandma doesn't. Anyway, long-winded way of saying I'm doing this family project, and I was looking at photos of my mom, and I was like, oh my god, my mom is like so cute and styling. And I always feel like my mom has been like stylish. I wouldn't say she's the most stylish. She's always had like, you know what, that's a bad way to put it. She's always had good style, but she's also always had like her own flair on her style, if that makes sense. So I just kind of wanted to go through and recreate, you know, a sim version of her. And I'm not saying it's like the most accurate, because we don't have like the most accurate clothing. She was, you know, a teen in the 70s or 80s. 80. I don't know how old my mom is. Well, I know, but whatever. She was born in 65. Somebody else do the math. Well, I guess she would have been 10 in 75, and so not the point at all. But yeah, so she, you know, she grew up in the 70s, 80s, lived to tell the tale of the 90s. But yeah, I don't know, I wanted to do something fun, and again, it's just like finding out all this family history. Like, you know, I found out some things about like my great aunt that was really close with my paternal grandmother, and she's recently passed as well. It's been about a year since she passed, but I just, you know, like seeing my parents' lives before I was born. I'm the third out of 4, so before my siblings were born even, and my parents dated for a while before they got married, and so just like seeing them like be people outside of just being my parents has been it's really nice to see, and it's really nice to see that they, you know, did fun things and that they were able to live their lives the way they wanted to. I did take some time though, like when creating her, I wouldn't say this is like the most accurate looking like my mom, because truthfully the video is not how much the sim actually looks like my mom. It's more so about how much, what do you call it, like the style is more so reflective of my mom. And there's this one photo in this specific outfit is like kind of recreating it, of her in this like leather jacket. It's like a Letterman jacket too, and so I just was like so obsessed with it, and that's actually what kickstarted me to start this this video and record it. And I also want to say I'm so sorry for recording this a day late, and I'm uploading it later at night. I had a busy Labor Day Monday, and then Tuesday I had a dentist, but I overslept. It's a whole thing. I overslept, and then I had to run some errands for my grandmother because she doesn't drive anymore. But yeah, so I just, I just really got obsessed with the idea of, finding out about more about my family lineage, and then just, making a sim that kind of looks like my mom, and kind of honoring her in that way. And I love both of my parents very much, but they're both a little dorky. Maybe I'll do my dad next. And I will say, this is clearly not my mom's name. I just kind of made up a name, but because I didn't think it was fair to blast her identity online for my own personal gain. But again, I was thinking about posting a picture. I just don't think she would personally like that too much. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know this is very different than content I feel like I usually make, but I thought it would be fun because, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people don't take the time to learn about their family history, and it doesn't mean that others don't. It's just that I feel like a majority of the time people are like, oh yeah, no, I don't know what my grandparents did or what my great-grandparents did, and I'm like, I think I've been watching too much Game of Thrones because I'm very obsessed with the scene, or I guess House of the Dragon, right? Because it's the Aegon scene where he's like, my son is my legacy. And that's all I've been thinking about lately, so I have been thinking about family legacies to an extent. I wouldn't say like die-hard legacies, but just a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, I leave a comment below of some looks and stuff that your parents did that you looked at and you were like, oh my god, that's so cool, or like, oh my god, why would you do that? Like, my mom would do a look like this, like she'll pair like flowy with flowy, and I'm like, no, you should pair tight with flowy, but who am I to tell her how to dress? Hey, if it works for her, right? But I feel like we all sometimes need to remember that our parents, and I mean, I have to remind myself this as well, that like our parents are also living life for the first time, but it's also like they were people before us and they have a history and a story, and personally I very much like finding out those things. I don't know, I just like piecing things together to how it got to today. And like, I know that my parents' first date, they both worked at Kmart, and then they got off at like 11:30 at night, and they went and got Chinese food because it's my mom's favorite food, and they sat and ate it in my dad's car. So, I don't know, things like that are always fun for me. It's not for everybody, and I get that, but I did upload this into the gallery, so if you guys want to download it, or download her, I should say, feel free. But, I'm just going to let the rest of the video play out. I just want to say thanks so much for watching, for all your support. I have been receiving some very kind comments, and I appreciate that. I hope you guys keep liking the content that I'm making, and then, if you want to drop a like or a comment or something to show your support, maybe a subscribe, I would really appreciate it. I am trying to grow my channel, but I also appreciate everybody that's been here, and yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I'll catch you tomorrow, actually, with a Legacy Challenge video, but bye for now.